guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have so much to say about the documentary that I watched last night of Sean Combs directing, and it was incredible. It was so freaking good, and it's a number one documentary on Netflix. I give mad respect to executive producer 50 Cent, the director Alexandra Stapleton. They did an incredible job. They painted a lot of picture for us to see behind the scenes of Sean Combs and how he reacts to people and how his behavior, and never before footage as well. And I grew up in that world, you know what I mean, the hip hop world, with listening to Tupac and Biggie, and it was just a great time when both of them were alive. Hip hop was just evolving, and it was just an amazing time growing up and listening to these two amazing rappers. And unfortunately, they both lives ended so abruptly and so tragically and so young, because both men were very young when they passed. And I didn't know that Biggie and Tupac were very close. I didn't know they were good friends. And when I was watching the documentary, that they really respected one another and really loved each other's music. And to the point that Tupac really wanted to work with Biggie alone. He didn't want to work with Sean Diddy Combs. And I just believe that Tupac felt a certain type of vibe towards Sean Combs, like, nah, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to be in your record label. I just want to work with Biggie alone. And I believe, watching the documentary, that Sean Combs was very jealous. He was very jealous towards their friendship with one another, that he just wanted Biggie all to himself. And he was just jealous about a lot of things. And it just painted a broad picture, you guys, that he just wanted to emulate other people. He wanted to be other people. He was just not his authentic self, if that makes sense. And there was so much to uncover, so much to talk about, that I had to write them down. I had to write them down because would have been so hard for me to retain everything. So I wrote some things down that really pinpointed to me, and the never before footage about the whole event of Tupac and Biggie. It makes so much sense now. You know what I mean? We never knew what happened, and the murder of Tupac and Biggie. The investigation was never solved. It was basically like a dead end in a cold case. But then when the former detective who was doing his investigation of Biggie and Tupac, and other people were talking about it too in the event of the killing, it makes a whole lot of sense now. And now I absolutely believe that Sean Combs had every part of Tupac's murder and Biggie as well. Because if you watch the documentary, you can see the jealousy. You can see that Sean Combs wanted Biggie all to himself, that he basically orchestrated the whole thing. You know what I mean? He was supposed to go to London, to do a PR for his music, and then he turned around and switched. And I don't want to give it all out if some of you guys haven't watched it yet, for him to stay in California. I just feel like this whole thing was set in motion. This whole thing was planned. The whole beef rivalry, for Tupac to be mad at Biggie, and to blame Biggie about this, and for Tupac to retaliate. It didn't make sense to me back in those days, but now watching the documentary, it makes a whole lot of sense that Sean Combs orchestrated this. He set this whole plan up in motion to get rid of Tupac, so he can have Biggie all to himself. And when Biggie realized that his contract was about to end, and he didn't want to be no longer in a record label with Bad Boys, he wanted to go somewhere else. Sean Diddy Combs didn't like that. Like, you can't walk away from Sean Diddy Combs, because when you walk away from him, there's going to be consequences for that, because it seemed like he likes that control, he likes that power, and all this bad behavior. You know what I mean? And people are seeing the light of this, and Sean Combs is not liking this. He's not very happy, I was told, and he reached out to his attorney. And it's so funny that, and I wrote this down, that he is considering suing Netflix over a video that 50 Cent obtained of this documentary. And I'm saying to myself, too little, too late, okay? You film yourself all day long, and you think that it's not going to reach to certain people. You know what I mean? If you have people that work for you and recorded it on their phone, what do you think that it's going to happen? You know what I mean? It just really ludicrous, and it's ridiculous that he's trying to do a cease and desist on Netflix, claiming that the video was stolen. No, Sherlock, the video was not stolen. Basically, people that you work for recorded it, and people investigated, and a source gave that information to 50 Cent and the director who directed this documentary, and said that, you know what, it's from my phone. Here's the information that you need. So it's basically not stolen if someone filmed it from their phone. You get what I'm saying? And then Diddy was like saying that he was doing a documentary for himself, starting at the age of 19. Like, no one's not buying it. People are just seeing your true colors, and what you're afraid of. People are going to see your true colors. People are going to see the type of evilness you are, and how you've been fronting this whole time that you really were not for your fans and for the people, that you're basically a monster, and then basically a disgrace to the music industry. And people are starting to see that by watching the documentary. So by him, he was trying to shut it down, but it's too little too late. And I'm like, you film yourself. So it doesn't make any sense. What goes around comes around. Like, you film yourself all day long. What do you expect was going to happen? You know what I mean? And then, so Netflix hit back and saying the footage they obtained was handed to them willingly. Okay, and I'm going to read to you Alexandra Stapleton, her statement, what she said. So it came to us. We obtained the footage legally, and we have the necessary rights. And she's right. She has the rights. If I film someone, okay, and I gave it to someone, that's my right, because it's coming through my phone. You know what I mean? It's not like I break into someone's home and took a footage of their private activities and then give it to someone. Then that's as against the law, because I'm breaking in, I'm stealing someone's footage that I have no business doing. You get what I'm saying? So he has no base to this. Sean Diddy Combs and his lawyers. It's too little, too late. You're. Why did you record yourself in the first place? You're the idiot. You're the idiot. You're the idiot. You recorded yourself in the first place, and now you have to deal with the consequences. And you're the idiot. And now you're being exposed, and people are seeing who you really are, and that's it. That's it. And it's just great. And I believe that Diddy hired a lot of people to put a hit on Tupac, and among other things. And it just, what really astounded me was that his mother, Janice Combs, was very hard on him. And I have to say, this documentary is completely different from the Peacock documentary and the other documentary that I previously watched. This one is so different because, again, it was never before footage that we never seen before, and they talked about the Tupac case, that how Sean Combs was just not cooperative. He was not being helpful in the investigation, not being helpful with the Biggie investigation as well, and how that that Sean Combs knew a lot of gang members, the Crips and stuff like that. It's just a lot, stuff that I didn't know. I knew a few things, but I didn't know some of the stuff that they were talking about on Netflix, which was just incredible. And the thing is that, his mom, Janice Combs, did parties at her home, did some other activity stuff that he picked up, and this is stuff that I'm writing. He hit his mom. Like, what kind of, that tells you when a man hits their own mother, that tells who the man really is, okay? Because if a man can put their hands on their mother, you're a scumbag. You're a scumbag, and you are not a good person, because no son should put their hands on their mother. A person who, birthed you, a person who put food on the table for you, a person who dressed you, took you to school, worked 2 or 3 jobs to support you and your sister, and the nerve of him to put his hands on his mother. It's just disgusting. And that tells you who he is. And that's what the whole documentary is all about. It's not about, a little bit about the trial and stuff like that, but it's just showing you of Sean Combs' character and how he really is. Okay? Everyone thinks that he's for the people, he's a good guy, he's this and that. when he's not. He went to what is it, Harlem or Brooklyn, and shaking a lot of fans' hands, and then next you know, when he was in his car and it was filmed that he wants to take a bath, he wants hand sanitizer, and these are the people that they idolized. These are the people that they idolized, Sean Combs, and this is what he says about you guys, the fans, that he wants to take a bath. Basically, he was just disgusted by dealing or hanging out with you guys, the fans, and shaking your hands. These are this is who you idolize. This is who you idolize. A man like that. Again, it's just despicable, and it's just his character, how he is. And another thing that I noticed too, that Sean never smoked or drank when he was in Uptown Records. So something shifted. Something changed when Andre Arell fired him, and then he started his own Bad Boy Records. I have to say, Clive Davis, he has some part of this, okay? Because Clive Davis. Again, I'm just speculating this. Um, he probably did some funny business with Sean Combs. He probably offered Sean Combs some type of deal or something in exchange for something. I don't know. I'm just speculating here because Sean Combs, not Sean Combs, but Clive Davis. He's just a little funny. If you get what I'm saying here. So something shifts, something changed because he never drank or smoked or did any type of drugs when he was Uptown Record. He was very clear-headed, focused, driven. He knew what he wanted and he went for it. And then again, something changed that he just went out of control, spiral out of control. He just wanted to imitate other people's bad behavior, and he just wanted to be number one. He just wanted to be the top, and he felt like he was just up beneath anyone. You know what I mean? And that's not how it goes when you have success and power and stuff like that. You can't just treat people the way you want to be treated and treat them like scum and disrespect them, and there's not going to be any consequences for your action because he got away with a lot of things in the past. He got away with a lot of things, and like I say, when you do to others, it will come back to you tenfold, and it's coming back to him. Even though he's serving a 4-year prison sentence, he's a criminal. He has a record. Number one, this documentary, it just shows his true character. Like I previously said in my last video, is a storytelling about his behavior and how he treated people and the things that he has done in his past. Never before footage that stuff that we didn't know, the public didn't know, but now we're knowing now. We're knowing everything now. And I have to say, things will never be the same. And I also, there's evidence, you know what I mean? Because I know that he's still going through a lawsuit with Don Richardson from Danny Kane, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good for Diddy, okay? Because stuff is being revealed, and it's not looking for his civil suits or any lawsuits that is pending towards him. Diddy is done, like I keep saying, done. And I just want you to listen to this, watch this TikTok video of this guy just talking about Diddy, and it's so hilarious. I just wanted to share it with you guys because I could not stop laughing when I watched this video, and hopefully you guys get a giggle out of this. So take a listen to what this gentleman had to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say, hey y'all, Diddy ain't coming home. Diddy ain't coming home. I'm gonna let it be known right now. After I just broke down the framework of this documentary that they just dropped, there's no way he coming home. Now everybody's saying, yeah, he gonna beat the allegations on the woman. Yeah, y'all not even realizing what they doing in this documentary. They're showing evidence, right? People gonna watch this documentary and reopen the case just depending on Diddy, so he don't come home. They making the example out of this nigga right now. Like I ain't gonna lie, I'm watching this documentary and there's no way they break down the beef. They can break down the statistics as far as how much the killer got paid. Him only getting half because he didn't hit Tupac and Suge. Like the feds is working and Netflix is working for them.
I have to say, I agree with him, and he's right. It's a possibility that the feds are working with Netflix because think about it. If they can implement Sean Combs in the murder of Tupac and Biggie, he's done. He's never coming home because that case is still open. It's a cold case. You know what I mean? So I think I might, believe this guy. You know what I mean? That Diddy may not come home. he's in big trouble. He's in hot water. So that's why it's not looking good for him. That's why he wanted to do a season desist. It's not going to work. It's too late. You should have filmed yourself, and you're going to sue Netflix. Good luck, because they have every right to show the world never before footage, because they did the proper channels. They're not criminals, and it's not looking good for your case, Sean Diddy Combs. It's not. And I just have to say this lastly, and I know I keep saying this. When you don't tell the truth, when you lie, when you make a deal with the devil, then everything's going to crumble. Because right now, before this whole incident happened, him going to trial and everything, he had everything. He had it all. He had the glitz, the glam, the cars, the planes, the houses, the girls, the drugs, the freak off, the 10,000 baby oil, lubricant, whatever. Okay, he had it all. Okay, and he thought he couldn't be touched. He thought he was untouchable. Well, I'm saddened to say no one's untouchable. Okay, it doesn't matter how long it will take. You will eventually get caught. Eventually, your day will come, and Sean Combs' day has come. Okay, because all the things that he has done to people, hurt them, blackmailed them, sexual assault them, allegedly. All these awful things that he has done to these people, it came back to him tenfold, okay? So it's over for him. His reputation, he still have probably some money left. It's all going to dry out, okay? Sean Diddy Combs is finished and done, okay? And I know 50 Cent, he's just absolutely thrilled about this, because he's the only one who actually said something. And everyone else that catered to Sean Combs' bad behavior, everyone that did not step up and say anything, shame on you. You're just as guilty as Sean Combs, because you just wanted to ride his coattails. You just wanted the money and have exposure because he was well-known rapper or singer. The man can't rap, okay? He can't sing. He was just living off of Biggie's coattails, Tupac, and other people. He was a good producer, I could tell you that, but he was no damn rapper, okay? We all know this, but no one didn't want to tell him that. No one can't tell Sean Combs nothing, okay? Well, I'm saying that. He was no damn rapper, okay? He was just a wannabe and trying to be someone that he was not. And he has been doing that for decades. And I'm saying to myself, aren't you exhausted? Are you exhausted trying to be someone that you're not? I would just rather be myself and just be free, be authentic. And nothing about Sean Combs was authentic. You know what I mean? And, 50 Cent, he was like saying, this man is weird. This man is dude. He wants to take me out to shopping. Who does that? It's just weird. No man wants to invite another man to take shopping unless you have an ending window of something that you want. You get what I'm saying? It's just weird, inappropriate, and creepy. And 50 Cent was not having it. Okay? He was not having it. So, therefore, you just can't do bad things to people and think you're going to get away with it. You just can't. And thinking that it's okay and thinking that you're just above everyone, because you're not. You're not. That's why everyone's going to have their day when you do something wrong to other people. It's just the bottom line, and that's just the facts. And Sean Combs is one of them right now. Anyway, you guys, that's all I have to say about that. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the Netflix 4-part series, your opinion, because I'm just giving you my reaction of the whole documentary. It was amazing. It was awesome. They did a great job showing the character of Sean Combs. And I just knew from watching that man is guilty, that man put a hit on Tupac, put a hit on Biggie, and it's ruined a lot of people's lives and just stole money, royalties and stuff like that. Just, you know what I mean? He was just a despicable, evil man. You know what I mean? Evil man. And I just hope and pray by all of this that he gets some type of salvation, that he gets right with God, and he asks God for forgiveness, and the people that he hurt for forgiveness too. Hopefully he changed. Hopefully. But I doubt it. But, God can change anyone. You know what I mean? Not unless if that person wants to change. Okay? Anyway, you guys, that's all I have to say. Let me know what you think about this video. Comment, like, share, and see you guys next time. Take care.